This is the story of my great-granddad Holley and his grocery store as told by my Granddad Holley.
A&A Foods was located in West Richland, which was a small town west of Richland. And the population was largely construction workers and military wives. It was a relatively poor town. The store was called A&A Foods because it had been started by a group of people who worked in the Hanford Atomic Project. They were just looking for some extra money, and they called themselves Allied Activities, and they called it A&A Foods. But they found out that a group of people can't run and manage a grocery store, and so they put it on the market, and Dad bought it in the fall of 1953. It was a small store, but a full-service store. It had a good produce counter. It had a good meat market, and it didn't have the variety of a large Albertsons or Safeway, but it was somebody could buy a week's supply. Could buy all their groceries in this grocery store. Great-Granddad Holley worked in a lot of grocery stores from the late 1920s up through the 1940s. Worked in Montana and Utah and Las Vegas and Kelso, Washington and Seattle. And then when the war started, he went to school, to night school, learned how to weld, and went to work in the shipyards in Seattle. And when the war was over, he went back into grocery stores. And along about probably in 1949, 1950, he and Mother had saved enough money that they were looking around to buy their own grocery store. And he couldn't find anything that he was very pleased with in the Seattle area, and he was offered a job to manage a store in McNairy, Oregon, where they were building McNairy Dam. And so we went down. We lived in McNairy for 3 years, which is a small town just east of Umatilla. Carl and I went to Umatilla High School, and I graduated from Umatilla High School in '53. And then after I graduated, Dad bought the store in the fall of 1953 while I was down at BYU, and they moved to West Richland. And they owned A&A Foods for about 15, 16 years. They ran the store. And he never got rich, but he made enough money that he put Carl and Kay and I through school, and had a decent retirement when he retired. Mm-hmm. So he never really, later in life, he never really wanted to be rich. He just wanted to, he says, if I reach in my wallet for $1, I want to find $1. It was really a family store. I don't know how it was, but both my brother and younger sister and I felt we owed it to our parents to work in the store. Mm. And we did. And it was, at some point, it wasn't Dad's store, it was our store. And at that part, it really, I won't say it kept the family together, but it was our store. And in some sense, it helped keep the family together. It brought us together. And we enjoyed it. It wasn't a bad job. It wasn't something we hated. It was something that we enjoyed doing with Mom and Dad. One Saturday morning, and my brother and I were working in the store, and it was kind of slow, and we were talking about what we were going to do Saturday night. And this lady came in, and in the middle of this conversation that my brother and I were asking, she says, "Do you boys have dates?" And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, once in a while." But I thought to myself, it's none of her business whether I have a date or not. And she said, No. I mean packages of dates. Do you guys have dates? Do you boys have dates?
That's the best story I think you've told. It's none of your business if I have a date or not.